everybody, here I am again with a little cooking lesson. Today is a meat day and I'm going to do side ribs, spare ribs. So I'm going to do Fay style, so as I go along you'll have all the instructions. Right now this is I have the side ribs and I'm going to trim off some of this fat. These are pork spare ribs, because we also have beef spare ribs, but the bones are bigger than these. So see, this is a slab of side ribs. If I was doing it on the barbecue, I would do this whole slab on the barbecue, but I'm doing it in the oven, so I'm going to cut them in pieces. So I'm cutting them in the size pieces that you would normally have them.
Which is basically cutting between the bones,
yeah,
right?
Cutting between the bones. One or two rib. I'm trying to get the pieces more or less the same size, but sometimes you have to go through a bone, so you'll have a little bigger piece here and there. So I try to go between each rib. And this is the normal size, about 2 inches. But this I had to veer off. So this is a big piece for somebody who likes their rib. When it's served up, they'll be digging for the bigger piece. So here we have about 3 pounds of spare ribs. And I'm going to give it a little rinse, as we people from the tropics like to do. Some people up here in the cold weather don't find it necessary, but we have to rinse. You don't have to wash it like laundry, just give it a light rinse and dry it with some kitchen tape. Here's the pork ribs, rinse and wipe dry with paper towel. And I'm going to put the seasoning on and leave it to marinate for at least an hour. If you can do it overnight, still the better. Okay? Garlic powder, not the salt. Some onion powder, some black pepper, and a little salt, because I'm going to be using soy sauce as well. So we've got to watch the salt. Got to watch the salt. Especially when you get to a teenager like me. And if you're doing this overnight, you can, if you're going to do it overnight, I'm just going to do this for an hour. You can chop up onion and garlic instead of using the powders.
But this is just the quick.
This is a quick way, but you need to scrape it off before you put it in the oven. So there we go, Angela. I'm going to put a piece of saran wrap over that and leave it for an hour. I'm going to remove this saran wrap, and we've been marinating for about an hour or just over an hour. I like to put them under the broiler in the oven for a few minutes each side, just to get rid of a bit of fat before I put it on to bake. I'm going to line them up in this dish. So, here's my spare ribs, ready to go under the broiler. After about 5 minutes, I'll take it out, turn them over, another 5 minutes, then I'll make the sauce to pour over it, to leave it to simmer in the oven. Okay. When I was growing up, we didn't differentiate about spare ribs in my home anyway. All we know, we're having pork for dinner, whether it be spare ribs, pork chops or whatever. They're all cut up and seasoned up with onion and garlic and pepper and left overnight to be cooked the old brown stew way, which was lovely. We love it and it's still good. This is gone and I'm going to turn them over, and for the next 5 minutes I'll prepare the sauce to pour over. And remember, it's on broil. And when I pour the sauce over, I'll be switching it to bake. So while the spare ribs broil on the other side, I'm going to make the sauce to pour over it. And at the end of that, we'll have our juicy phase in the oven barbecue spare ribs. Some ketchup. Ketchup. And I'm going to pour a cup of water over that ketchup. And then I'm going to add brown sugar. I'm going to get that dissolved. Now I'm going to put some jam. And I like to put a little marmalade as well, which I'm out of. So I just put a little lemon juice after.
So what did you do?
I put the jam in.
You put more jam because you didn't have the marmalade, right?
Yes, I would have put less jam in. I'm going to put a tablespoon of mustard. Here I have our famous hot pepper sauce. You have to put a little, give a little kick to our spare ribs. So I've made the sauce. I brought it to a boil and I'm stirring and simmering it for about 5 minutes. You don't want it to be thick because it's going to get thick while it cooks in the oven. So you just want it to good pouring consistency. Normally if there's too much fat, then I'd spoon out some off, but this was a real lean spare ribs, very little fat. At the end of cooking it, there's extra fat rendered because you see, Angela, there's no fat. I'm going to pour the sauce over the spare ribs and I'm going to put it in the oven at bake. I'm going to cover it with foil at bake, and I'll let you know how long it took because some cook faster than some, but for at least an hour.
And what is it at? 350?
360.
360, which I believe is about 190 Celsius.
To put the foil over, the dish is quite hot, so be very careful. Normally, when I use the wider foil, I prick some holes in it, but this is narrow, so I don't need to have ventilation on the side. Okay, I think the spare ribs is ready to come out of the oven. I checked it at 30 minutes and removed the foil and put it back for another 30 minutes so that the liquid could reduce. And it has done so. I just checked it and I'm going to remove it from the oven. So here it is, all done. I'm going to remove it from this dish into a serving dish, and you can go to cooklikeajamaican.com and you get all the instructions for this recipe, and go ahead and try it. I know you will like it. Bye for now. Hello! Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? If not, just press the button below and subscribe, and you'll get more of our delicious recipes. So do that and you'll be happy like I'm happy at the moment cooking for you all. Bye for now.